Hey guys, Neil with Mechanical Difficulties. Episode 6, just a little bit of a progress update for you. No, we haven't got it running yet. There's a lot that needs to happen before this thing starts running. I've got a lot of the electrical, I've got most of the engine harness snapped in and where it needs to be. Today I worked on putting the transmission control module in, and the other day I worked on putting the AC compressor in. Here in a minute I'll go through the problems I found with that and what I'm going to have to do to make it work. And other than that, I'll just kind of show you where I've got everything up to this point. So I'll quit talking here and let you see what's in here. Alright, so yeah, like I said, today I worked on putting this big behemoth of a TCM in. A lot of people think that this is actually the battery, but it's not. You can see this is the cabling for the AC compressor. Underneath here is actually, right here is where the battery cables come in. And over here is where these big motor, transmission electric motor cables go in. It is quite the squeeze, as you can see. I've got most everything hooked up electronics wise. Actually, here, let me see. This connector here is to, it's hard to do one-handed. That connector goes to this connector here, which is for the power steering control module. Since it's a hybrid and the engine's not always running, on the Tahoes they had electric power steering. On mine I've got hydraulic power steering because I got the gear there. Like I said previously, I'm going to put a pump that runs off of 12 volts back there. So we're going to get rid of this, which means I can get rid of this big chunk of bracket. So that'll save me a little bit of room on, you know, when room is at a premium, you can see even just a little bit more room is great, because that is right on the coil pack. Now granted, this TCM is not very stable right now, because I'm going to have to brace it up against the frame and do some other stuff there. So let me try and show you how I got it in there. So you can see the factory bracket, obviously I used that. But back there, one of the giant holes that I used to have back there, you can kind of see that stud right in the middle of the screen. There's a similar stud underneath that hole, and I used a piece of the OEM bracket to, actually I might be able to show you from under here. Let me see if I can zoom it in there where you can see. Yeah, right there, kind of to the right of the screen. Ooh, it's not one to focus. Oh man, this camera does not like me. But yeah, no, I basically just cut a little L bracket to go from the bottom of the original bracket to the firewall of the Scout. And it was pretty easy because, like I said, I used a piece from the old Tahoe bracket. I'm going to have to make a piece that goes from this part of the bracket here to the fender, so that this corner is fixed and not moving around. And then here, I don't know if you can see, maybe you can, right there's actually a hole, maybe a drainage hole or something, I don't know. I'm going to have to use that to make kind of like a stabilizer link that goes from here all the way down to the frame and shore up this edge, because this is the worst part right here. That's why it's so bouncy. This side is at least sitting on the fender liner, but we'll have to take it all back apart and get this piece of bracket out of the way. It'll also make it look a little bit nicer under here, because right now it looks like a mess, but that's one thing we'll work on. Another issue that I had, I was scared to death that this wasn't going to work, but this AC compressor, you may have been able to see it when I went in for a close-up, but man, look at that bolt head. Zoom in on that. Come on, focus. There it is. You can see the aftermath of me grinding and hammering the frame, trying to get it to bend out of the way just enough, just to get this to set where it's supposed to. Now obviously that's not the finished product. I'm going to go back and notch out a bit of the frame there, so that, I mean, because even this bolt here for the AC line, I'm not going to be able to get a line on there because I can't even get the bolt out. But yeah, that's something I'll do later on. This is just for mock-up purposes. I may not even have this on there when we do a first test drive, just because I don't want to run the risk of those bolts hitting the frame when the engine starts up. So yeah, there's that. I haven't put the transcooler tubes on yet, but we'll figure that out. That shouldn't be too big of a problem, because I'm going to use the factory cooler and the factory radiator setup, so that shouldn't be too big a deal. Just a matter of making these rubber hoses fit where they need to, and, you know, fixing the snippy snip. I've got this fuse box plugged in. This sends power to the TCM. That's what this big 200 amp fuse is for. It sends DC power over there. Let's see. Ooh, got a bunch of wires that go into this fuse box from the wiring harness. Not entirely sure what they all do, but I grabbed this off the Tahoe anyway, so right now I haven't done a whole lot of, oh, well, this wire goes here, I need this, I don't need this, stuff like that. It's just trying to get all the major components fit in here so I know that everything fits. I didn't think that the TCM was going to be that big of a deal, but I mean, I guess luckily it wasn't, but I went to go put it on the bracket and I was like, oh, this is not going to fit. But luckily it does. Yeah, here's the air box, which we're not going to use. Just have that for the mass airflow sensor. Still have plenty of room for the brake master cylinder. I've got this fuse box that needs to get plugged in and ran somewhere. This harness here that runs through the body is probably going to become much bigger, because I've got to rip all that out, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I may try and reuse that hole. Obviously I got to make a bigger hole, but I'm not sure how much room I've got on the other side of the firewall. And that relay there, I think that's a high beam relay. I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not a Scout expert. I'm not even a hybrid expert. I'm not even a Tahoe expert. I'm a Ford guy doing all of this. Whatever. I'll take you in the back and you'll see how much crap I've got out of the back of this thing. And just look in there. Here, let me open it. Ugh. Look at all that, man. This used to be full to the brim. I mean, it's still got a bunch of stuff in here, but it's way better. Way less stuff in here and way more stuff up there. So, we'll close that up. So yeah, coming along nicely. Just like I said, a little progress update. And I'll see when I got some more. So yeah, like I said earlier, we've got to put master cylinder in, finish putting the TCM in, and once I get that actually how it's going to fit, before I put the TCM in, I'll show you what the bracket looks like and what I had to do there. I just have that in there because I was messing with it. And I'll also have to cut the front end up for the radiator. And I'll probably do a time lapse of that because that's lots of juicy content. I'd hate for you to miss it. So yeah, let me set you back down. So yeah, like I said, that's where I'm at for now. Next episode I'll give you another update of where I'm at, and hopefully a lot more progress has happened. To me, it doesn't feel like a whole lot of progress, but hopefully to you guys, every episode is like, so yeah. Thank you again for watching. Thank you so much for all of my subscribers. I have 10 now. Yay! I'm sure it's all friends and family. But hey, I think I need 1,000 to start putting ads on here. I don't know. I don't remember. But that's not the goal of this channel. The goal is to show you guys how this stuff works and show my journey through this, and hopefully show a bunch of people that it's not that difficult to do an EV swap, or you know, hybrids aren't what everybody thinks they are. You know, they can be fun cars. I mean, with this thing, I'll be going through a parking lot probably 25 miles an hour as soon as I hit 30. You know, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be pretty cool and turn a lot of heads. I cannot wait for the first car show to go to with this thing. I think a lot of people are going to go like, oh my gosh, what is this monstrosity that you've created? They probably kick me out, but you know, it's fine. It's whatever. So, yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and keep coming back. We'll keep filming. Deuces!